Living without education is like living in darkness. Here's a question. If there was a child in the dark, and there were sharp objects all around, and you knew that he needed help, would you turn the light on to help him find his way out of the room and into the freedom of the outside?
Sure, yeah.
Here's some additional sources that I use in order to give this speech. The World Press, CIA, City Mayors, United Nations, Nations Encyclopedia, Marlon, Native Guatemalan, Barbara, Upavim, Advisor, Deeper Than Debt by George Ann Potter. A quick overview. Guatemala is located in Central America. It is a third world country, and like many other Central American countries and some Southern American countries. There's a lack of education. We're going to go talk about that. We're going to talk about the root cause of why there's a lack of education. And we're also going to speak about what can we do to help those in need of education. Do you see yourselves as middle-class Americans?
Yes.
Well, Guatemala has a population of 13 million people. These are our counterparts in the American continent. There is a great uneven wealth among these people. An average family, according to some UNICEF statistics, has a household income of $2,440 per year. The national population, 75% of the people are below the poverty level. In 1998, there was a statistic taken that also 93% are in poverty and 91% are in extreme poverty. This is another statistic by UNICEF. What this means is, because of the lack of financial resources, we're having a lack of running water, paved roads, electricity, education, and the lack of health care and food in many third world countries like Guatemala. The population that suffers most because of this financial crisis is the children in Guatemala. The population consists of 6 million children. 2 million of them are under the age of 5. 6 out of 10 children reach grade 5. Many of them drop out, can't make it due to financial problems. Education is not free in Guatemala. You must be able to send your child to school and buy academic supplies for it. Who cares for them? You would think the government, the family, somebody should care for them. Well, the government, it gets its taxes abused through corruption. Because there's a lack of financial aid, many loans are made from healthy countries, and these loans that come in are then stolen or used as bribery throughout the government, all the way from the officials to the Wall Street, the economic part, all the way to Main Street, the people trying to get government help. There are many activists and reformers that want transparency and want the government to be more democratic and more responsible. But there is no change. And the reason why there is no change is because of corruption, the lack of education, which holds Guatemala's development back. How about the parents? The parents should take care of the children. There's an unequal income distribution in the whole of Guatemala. 10% of the wealthy own 50% of the national wealth. The poorest 10% own only 1% of the national wealth. MNCs, multinational companies, and the elites take most of this wealth. Most of the wealth that is through tourism is either through business agreements with wealthy nations, or wealthy nations own the corporations in these host countries, third world countries, and the elites make business with the wealthy nations or with other elites. The wealth is simply not ever shared with the poor population of Guatemala. Poverty in Guatemala equals a survival instinct. There's no looking in the future. There's no looking about you having an accident 10 weeks from now or a year from now. There's no looking into the future or where you're going to be living when you are 60, 70 years old. There's only the survival instinct of living today, now, and this minute. And these are some of the concerns. A lot of violence, being gunned down, being killed accidentally, or because they're coming after you to take the little money you make. The violation of family members, women and mothers, run a high risk. The lack of food and resources making your house and your shacks. The focus for this, like I said, is of the present and of today. Therefore, the future is overshadowed because of this distress of financial need. The need of education is great, and because corruption hurts Guatemala from developing even more, education would be the light to help Guatemala grow out of corruption. The solution. Let me tell you about the Guatemalan education. The Guatemalan education costs per year less than $50. This I got off of a website, upavim.org. The cost of 2 dinners of you going out to your favorite restaurant would give one child a whole education for a year. My experience, as I was sponsored by Americans, was that once I got an education, I was able to move up. I was able to come to Texas A&M University, try to be an international business, and now I'm able to help my sisters with some financial help so that they can grow through education as well. They can reach higher standards. The difference between survival in the poor area and comfort is the difference between light and darkness. Learning empowers individuals. The unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness that is held so high regard by the U.S. makes us the ones to answer this call to third world countries who need great help, who, in other words, do not have an opportunity without us stepping a foot and saying no more. To conclude, education should be a privilege for all people, from all cultures, from all parts of the world. Barriers to education are because of the corruption in the government, the unemployment rate of the parents who just cannot get work to be able to help them to go to school, because of the survival mode of each parent and each child to want to work instead of go to school. The solution: helping one child at a time, and we could help with that. With that, we could break the cycle, and we could help the country break the cycle of corruption. Who is to do it? We, as the United States, as a free nation, should recognize the chains of poverty that hold back other countries. And we can help break those chains by helping children in third world countries by sponsoring them. Sponsor a child today. If you would like to, go to upavim.org and you're able to get on any web page and sponsor a child. Thank you very much.